Merry meet weirdos, I'm Gory B Movie, and this is Gory Talk, the show where I normally hang out with my friends and talk about spooky stuff, but today I'm just going to talk to you guys in the chat because you're also my friends, whether you agree to be or not. So let's see what's going on in the chat. Mummy B Movie, my own mother who found me beneath a gooseberry bush many, many years ago, has become a dabbler. Thanks, Mommy. See, she does love me. And we got Annie in the chat, too. I hope to have Annie and Mummy B Movie on the show eventually. Let's see, what else is going on? Who else is here? If you're here, say hi. I got some new subscribers. I got the Gothic Flatulator. That's just probably the most epic name I've ever heard. Let's see. So, I had some updates for you guys. What did I do this last weekend? I went to Guar. So if you guys have been to Guar, let me know. Hey, Mommy, what's up? Guar is a different kind of concert experience. It's not like your average concert where you go and you may or may not be in the pit. You know, there are other metal concerts, but even compared to other metal concerts, Guar is a special thing. By the way, I'm just going to throw this out there so you guys can keep me online. I promised Danny, because he sometimes plays my stream at his shop, that I would not swear today. So, yeah, if I need to put any quarters in the swear jar, let me know. But I'm going to be on my best behavior, because this is like an upstanding family show now. Maybe. Anyway, can't promise we won't talk about dongs, though. But I was talking about Guar. So, Guar, they are a band of scumdogs from another planet who came to our planet and moved to Antarctica and now are in a band due to Sleazy P. Martini finding them and persuading them with, I think, a lot of crack. Anyway, this has been going on since like the 80s. But when they're on stage, they kill like celebrities. I've seen them kill pretty much every president, Lady Gaga, so many people. And then when they kill the people, they spray the audience with all kinds of fluids, most notably blood. So you, if you were anywhere remotely near the stage, are going to be doused in blood, as I was on Danny's birthday, Monday. I've gone to many a Guar concert. I've been going to Guar concerts back when Odorous was still alive, rest his soul. Yeah, they're always a really, really good time, though. I don't know if they've ever played my favorite song, which is Abyss of Woe. That I can remember. Maybe one of the early ones back when Odorous was. It's been a long time, but I haven't heard it for a long time. Anyway, so this last Monday I go, and it's really more a problem with women's fashion than it really is with Guar. I don't know about any other ladies, but almost none of our clothes come with pockets. You get a dress, you get a skirt, you get leggings. Very rarely do they come with pockets. And I'm just really thinking that that needs to change, because where are we supposed to put our phones? This is why we got to bring like a whole handbag everywhere. But sometimes, like at a concert, I don't want to bring a bag or a backpack. So what do? I do what every other lady does. I put my phone in my bra, which is usually pretty foolproof. Except, I keep hitting this mic. Except for at Guar, because, as previously noted, Guar will just blast you with all the blood. And I've got Lols there, who's 21 now, and he held his own pretty well in the pit. He is pretty metal. Proud of him. But yeah, they're just like squirting you with blood. And where does that blood go? Right in between your boobs. It goes in your face and your eyes, but also between your boobs. Boobs doesn't count as swearing, guys, so I think we're okay. Anyway, I should have put it in my boot, but my boots are kind of tight, so I didn't do that. Boots, as on my feet. But I should have, because my poor phone, it did make it through Gorgor being born from his egg. Gorgor's like a tiny T-Rex, and he grew up, and he became a giant. Made it through all of that. I got pictures. Luckily, they'll go to the cloud. But then it died. It was submerged in too much boob blood, and it died. So now I don't have a phone. Anyway, that was my weekend. How was your weekend? Let's see what's going on. We got Mr. Flickster in the chat. Hey, buddy. Mummy loves my shirt. It is The Omen, one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Now, a lot of people pass off The Omen as just, oh, it came out after The Exorcist. Oh, it's not as good as The Exorcist. And I will grant you, the novelization of The Omen did not come out before The Exorcist. This is not based on a book. The book of it was based on the movie. But the movie is just as freaking good as The Exorcist, if you ask me, which you didn't. Hey, Danny, I'm doing pretty good so far. No swearing. Jamie Hart, what's happening, girl? Nice to see you. Uh-oh, is my mic not working? Did I hit it too hard? It says I have the right mic. Okay, let me know if you can hear me on this mic. All right. I'm going to put it really close to my face hole. Okay, can you hear me? This thing says I have audio. Theoretically, it's working. Mummy says it's working. Mummy would let me know. All right. You hear me. Okay. If there's anything wrong with it, I do not want to hurt your this volume's very low. Well, we can crank that puppy up. That we can definitely do. The volume is low. Let's see what's going on in the back of it. Oh, it's not butt setting. It wasn't on the butt setting. It probably is super loud now. I'm so sorry for that. There's a little setting on the back of the microphone that looks like a butt. That is the ideal setting if you have a Blue Yeti microphone like I do. Okay, so how's my volume now? Am I sufficiently loud enough? I'm usually pretty loud anyway. What's going on with my hair? Ow! All right, well, I'm hoping you guys can hear me. Did you guys hear my whole story about Guar? That was tragic. Anyway, that's so much better. Okay, good. Thank you, Jamie. Nice to see you here. Okay, so we haven't done one of these for a while. So normally on Gory Talk, if you guys are new here, I kind of created this show to get in touch with my friends, spend more time with people who I don't get to spend time with as often as I'd like to. It's loud. Okay, I'm turning it down now. It's too much. Too much. All right, hopefully this is better. I did turn my mic down a bit. Okay. So I made this show to hang out with my friends, and I've had some really good friends and guests on. We've had a lot of great discussions, and I don't really plan this show out. We really talk about, whatever's going on in my guests' lives, if they got a new book out or if they, I don't know, whatever's going on with them. But today, I don't have a guest. So we're going to hang out, you guys and me. So let me know. Hey, Val is here. What's happening? Let me know what's going on with you guys, because today you guys are my guests. So you dictate the conversation that we're having. And if you don't, then I'm going to pick conversation topics. And that's, well, it's not always the best. I believe my son, Robo Muffin, who's also lols, should be in the chat. He doesn't really need to moderate so much because I just don't have enough people here to require moderation usually. But he does take care of the doggos for me, which I appreciate because they are needy little mama's boyses. All right, let's see what's going on here. So Jamie says they recently went to Scarefest and it was a lot of fun. I haven't been to Scarefest, so I'm guessing it's a horror convention. Where's that located? I went to Horror Con, Elvira. It's Elvira's Horror Con in Puyallup, Washington. It's really close to Seattle. Last week, it was really fun. They have a lot of vendors there. I always love how you can find just really cool horror stuff you don't find anywhere else at conventions. But I also got to meet Jamie Kennedy, who was Randy in Scream and Scream 2. I met Chris Sarandon. I didn't meet him in person, but I saw his panel and I said hi to him. I met Don Mancini, and he is delightful. The man is so sweet. I adore him. I met both Emma Caulfield and Charisma Carpenter, and I was the one who got to interview them on their panel with my friend Jason, so that was really cool. I met Eden Gross, who was the voice of the Good Guy doll, and he did one of the voices in Halloween Tree. I met Garrett Sander, who is the creator of Monster High. I really like Monster High. Oh, and I met Felissa Rose. Again, I've met her before, but she's lovely. Heather is here. Hey, Heather. Yeah, so guys, if you have any topics you particularly want to talk about, anything in the news or whatever, anything going on in your lives, just throw it out there because I can talk about anything. Jamie, it looked like you had a great time. I don't think I've seen the pictures, but I'm guessing they're probably on Instagram, so I'm gonna have to go check those out. So Heather, oh, I saw that you were reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, which it's got to be my favorite book series, at least my favorite current book series. If you guys are not familiar with Dungeon Crawler Carl, my way of discovering this book series is actually kind of fun. So I go to Crypticon every year as a panelist. And one particular year, I had so many panels between me and Danny, I had no time to go down to the vendor floor, which is one of the most fun things to do. So I run down there just as they're closing up, and there's one table open, and it has this cat on it with a tiara and sunglasses. And I was like, hey, this looks neat. What's this all about? And this guy, Matt Dinneman, the author, he tells me all about Dungeon Crawler Carl, his book series, which at the time had gone up to, I think, book 4. I could be wrong about that. But he tells me that it's a lit RPG, so literature RPG. And instantly I thought of my brother who loves, Dungeons and Dragons and that kind of thing. And what happens is you have this guy who's a Coast Guard. His name is Carl. His girlfriend, he discovered, was supposed to be on a girls' weekend with her other girlfriends. And she's actually there with her ex-boyfriend. So he has broken up with her, but they share an apartment. And he is caring for her very expensive show cat, Princess Donut. It's also a record low blizzard. It's super cold in Seattle where he lives. But he's hanging out in his boxers, playing some video games with his friend when he decides, he's going to smoke in the apartment because he can do what he wants now that his girlfriend and him have broken up. But the cat gets outside and it's freezing. So he throws on a leather jacket, some pink Crocs, runs out to get the cat when suddenly every covered surface visible smushes. Cars, garage shelters, parking garages, houses, bus stations, anything with a roof on it smashes. And what has happened is the Valnet Corporation, they mine planets for resources, and resources are any living beings, objects, anything. So they do that by just crushing the anything with a surface and taking what's within. So that means most of the people on Earth have just been collected or are dead. The only thing that's left there are these open doors where there is warmth emanating. And as previously mentioned, this is a record blizzard in Seattle. So all Carl is thinking is he's freezing. He's got the cat who's clawing the crap out of him. They need to go and get some warmth. And meanwhile, a large broadcast is explaining that they previously did notify Earth about this, but nobody did anything. So here they are. He goes into the warm entrance which is the dungeon. And I believe, I can't remember how many levels the dungeon is, but not even all of the levels have been explored yet. I think the farthest anyone has made it is level 13. And so all the survivors of Earth can either choose to stay on land and above ground and tough it out where there are no resources, or you can go into the game. And in the game, you need to try to get as far as you possibly can until you either die or you decide that you're going to take a deal, which is what a lot of people do. Each level is themed. So the first one is very much like it's goblins, it's trolls, it's kind of Dungeons and Dragons-y. And the are broadcasting this. The Valorant Corporation is broadcasting this galactically. And they think they're really clever, and they try to make the bosses, like the big bads that you fight, kind of themed after the planet. So they have very offensive caricatures of Earth people, like the big Jim Bro, or, just other kinds of caricatures of humans. And the sad thing is the actual human is in there, sometimes more or less. Like one person is actually like vomiting cockroaches and they're complaining that they're in pain and stuff. So it's really sad. And so already you're getting comedy, you're getting action, you're getting adventure, but there is heart and actual feeling to this as well. I liked it because my town is mentioned in it. Carl comes across a bunch of people who are trying to save all these elderly folk. They are from Wenatchee, which is where I'm from, and they all worked at a nursing home and it happened to be outside because someone had pulled the fire alarm. And they're trying to help all these elderly people who, some of them are in wheelchairs and stuff, survive. But it's very, very challenging. My absolute favorite part of all of this is Carl, as I mentioned, brought the cat in. The cat is the first cat to ever enter the dungeon. So you get loot boxes, just like you do in a game, right? The cat gets a special pet biscuit that makes her intelligent. Now she's smarter than Carl. She has better powers than Carl. She can shoot lasers out of her freaking eyes, and she's sassy. And initially, even though Carl really liked this cat before, he used to play video games and enjoy her company. He's like, I don't need to put up with this. I don't need to be bossed around by a cat. And then she apologizes, which is a rarity for Donut. She is sassy, but she says, you know what? I really like you too. All those times I sat in your lap while you played video games, it meant something to me. She's also pretty savvy on pop culture, both from what her owner Beatrice listened to, and they would leave the TV on for her all day while they were gone at work. So together they team up, this very unlikely pair, and go level through level. But Carl isn't just about trying to win the game. Carl wants to beat the system. So he wants to go against the people who put them in the game to begin with. So it's really cool. It's the full range of emotions. I absolutely love the series. I think we're getting a new book next year. And I'm also just really proud of a local person, who started at Crypticon. He used to do art with, it was like dictionary pages, and then he would put like dinosaurs or cute cats on them and sell them. And one of them did really well, and he sold it to IKEA, and he was able to write full time. And so when he started at Crypticon, he was not a super big author yet. But now the books are doing really well, and they're going to be adapted into a television series, and it's got a really big following. And he's from Gig Harbor, Washington, so it's just really neat. I think somebody came to visit me. Lols? Welcome, my child. This is my loin fruit. No swearing in today's episode because Danny might play it at the shop. You're so big, you're not even in the frame. It also might be hard for them to hear you because I think there's a noise gate on here, but you can just hang out and chill if you want. All right, not creepy at all. Okay, so now that I've told you guys all of that, I'm excited because Heather is reading this book series, which is, it's kind of impressive that Heather hasn't read these yet, because Heather makes time somehow, despite being a mom and having all these other responsibilities, to read a lot. I think they're just really fast at reading, but they haven't read Dungeon Crawler Carl yet. And I saw that she's reading it on Goodreads, and I'm so excited because I really, really hope she likes it. I think she will. So that was what that whole story was for. Look how cute my child is. Oh, you wore your Gory B Movie shirt.
I know.
Oh my gosh. What a sweetheart. Okay, Val is here. Have to ask you, Gory, what brought you back to YouTube? I'm very glad you are back because there are so few great women on YouTube talking horror. Well, Val, you would understand this. So I, I'm gonna try to make this as I get very overwhelmed with a lot of social stuff. I overdo things. And so I used to have a show, like a live stream show, where it was what we love about, and we would do every movie in the series. And it was supposed to be very chill. And then I was overdoing it. I was making a new intro for every single one. I was doing all this research. And so this thing that was supposed to be fun and chill ended up just causing me a lot of anxiety. And so I stopped doing it and I started focusing on my book club instead on my other channel. I have a channel, the Strange and Unusual Book Club, and now it's a podcast. um, but and then I felt guilty about not posting anything, so I kind of stopped watching YouTube as well, and I felt really guilty because I fell out of touch with a lot of friends. And then, unfortunately, recently, our friend, a lot of you were friends with him as well, Steven, passed away, and I had known when I stopped doing YouTube that he wasn't well, but I didn't realize how sick he was, and I just felt really guilty that I hadn't stayed in touch, that I hadn't been a better friend. One of the last messages from him was inviting me to a stream, and I was just, like, well, I don't really want to do that stuff right now because I just have a lot of anxiety. And even though he had all these health issues, he still streamed, and I just it made me feel really sad that I missed out on what was probably a lot of fun with my friends, and I wasn't there for my friends, and I can't change that with Steven. But the first thing I did was reach out to another good friend of mine, Night, and I was like, okay, I feel, just bad, and I miss you, and I can't fix things with Steven, but I can fix things with you. I can fix things with my other friends that I haven't been there for, that I've lost touch with. So that's why I decided to start this show. And so I pick one of my friends every week. I just have one, maybe two guests at a time, but usually people who know each other. So we can just have an actual real conversation. So we can hang out, we can have fun. Maybe we'll watch a movie. I want a lot of these people to come back. Um, so we stay in touch. And also you guys, I want to know what's going on in your lives. I want to, be a part of those things and share experiences with you. So I came back because I just want to be a better friend. I want to do better. Okay, that's emotional. Thank you, baby. I'm your hype man today. My hype man. I don't know how well you can hear him back here, but he says he's my hype man. The microphone has noise cancellation on it, so it might be hard for them to hear you. Yeah, I get that. But I can translate for you. Oh. All right, let's check in. So Mr. Flixer says he met Brad Dourif once. That is really cool. I've actually met a lot of the Chucky people. At Crypticon, I'm kind of the Chucky girl. So when we get Chucky guests, I've been lucky enough to interview a lot of them. I've interviewed Christina Lees, who was Kyle in part 2 and has returned. I've interviewed Alex Vincent, and I've interviewed Fiona Dourif. And then I met Don Mancini. So that was really cool. And I met Chris Sarandon. I would love to meet Brad Dourif. We asked Fiona, and she said it's just really hard. She's really funny. She says her brother, her dad is just kind of a homebody, and so like he's got this massive following. But I guess it is hard to get him out and stuff. So probably especially harder because Crypticon's a smaller convention. But it would be amazing to meet him, and gosh, I hope I would get a chance to interview him. Bonjour, Doc. Doc Mortis was on the channel a few weeks ago. That was really fun. We're going to have Doc back again. Okay, so we're getting some more information about the con that Jamie went to. It's in Lexington, Kentucky. I need to go to more of the United States. I think a lot of you know I moved here with my mom and brothers when I was young, like in 4th grade, from England. But I really haven't traveled in America much. I've been to Idaho, I've been to California, Oregon. We stopped in Nevada. Yeah, Nevada, baby. We stopped there for a plane. We should have gone to the Rainforest Cafe. We need to go check out the Rainforest Cafe. But I think my mom and dad took me to Montana when I was a kid. I don't remember. I haven't been really that. I haven't been to central or southern or eastern United States, and I need to travel more. I want to go to Florida and go to Universal Florida. But anyway, Kentucky, I bet it's pretty cool. She says it's a great con. Check it out sometime. I met Tom Matthews. I've met Tom Matthews. That is Tommy Jarvis. He's really neat. Zach Galligan. Zach Galligan. I've also met him. He actually like follows me on Twitter. I think he follows a lot of people though. So, but he's still cool. Lisa Zane from Freddy's Dead. That's super cool. Ken Sego. I don't know who that is. You met Miguel Nunez. Miguel Nunez, I don't know if you know this, that is my favorite character actor of all time. I think that's the person I'm thinking of. I think so. Sometimes I forget character actor names, but Miguel Nunez. Yeah. Yeah. Very, very cool. So, is that the same guy I'm thinking of? Maybe it's not. Wait, hold on. Oh no, I think I got it wrong. Hold on.
All time. I don't know who they are.
Well, unfortunately, I never remember his name. Lols. You know, maybe make fun of somebody who's not your mother. Friday the 13th. Okay, who's Miguel Nunez? Miguel A. Nunez Jr. Now I'm thinking it's not the same guy. Hold on. Let me see who this guy is. I gotta find out. You know what, Lols? No, it is the same guy. It is. I know what I'm talking about. You should have more faith in me. Feel shame. Shame. No, I was correct. I do know who Miguel Nunez is, but he has a picture on IMDb where he has like glasses or something, and I didn't recognize him. But no, Miguel Nunez is my favorite character actor. He is the voodoo master in Scooby-Doo, where he's all like, purple? That's a fall color, which I don't think it is. It's the middle of June or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah. But I love him. I love him. He's also in Return of the Living Dead. And I especially love him in Friday the 13th, part 5, where he is the guy who ate too many damn enchiladas and is in like this little outhouse singing when he gets killed by Jason. Yeah. Oh, he's also in Leprechaun 4. He's in so many things. Like, I forget sometimes all the things he's in, and then I will rewatch something like Leprechaun 4. I'm like, oh, I forgot he's in this. I love him. He's the best part of Leprechaun 4. Anyway, I think what we've learned from this experience is A, I'm smarter than I thought, and B, my child has no faith in me, and Jamie meets cool people. Oh, and she met Tom Atkins. Oh my gosh, Tom Atkins. I adore him, especially Halloween 3. I got to see a lot of the locations they used for Halloween 3, which a lot of them are near Pasadena, California. I've gone to the bar there and a few other places, but gosh, Tom Atkins, a legend. What does Tom Atkins say? Do you even remember? Thrill me.
Thrill me.
And he's also the guy screaming at the end of Halloween, like, shut it off. Yeah, there you go. You know what's up, even though you don't have faith in me. All right, let's go on. What's a better Stephen King adaptation, either The Monkey or The Long Walk? See, that's a complicated question, because are you asking me which one do I think is more accurate to the source material? It's probably The Long Walk. Which one do I think is more entertaining? I think The Monkey is a lot of fun, and if I were going to have friends over and I wanted to put something on that we could all enjoy together, I would pick The Monkey because it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of blood and gore, even though it does have Adam Scott in it. But, whatever. I guess the dude's got to work. Anyway, it's nothing against Adam Scott. He just has a really punchable face. But I do think The Long Walk was a better movie. And we actually talked about The Long Walk, the novel, Kayla and I did on our podcast, Strange and Unusual Book Club, which you can also listen to it on the YouTube channel, Strange and Unusual Book Club. There are links down below. But we went super in depth on The Long Walk. And then our second episode was comparing the novel to the movie. So she preferred the book. I prefer the movie. But if you want all the details on that, check out our podcast. We are only 2 episodes in. If you want to download it, leave a review, it would help a lot. Our next episode is going to be on the Midnight Library, which Mummy B Movie, you've been mentioning like all the episodes, I think. You should check it out. And then after that, it's The Exorcist. So we've got some really cool stuff. We also have a website at subcpodcast.com, which has all the links. All right. Hopefully I answered that question. Yay, you guys are chatting with each other. I like that. Ruh-roh. I wish I could do a good Scooby impression. Can you?
No. Don't make me know.
Don't make him know. He's so cute. He got this at Spirit Halloween, this mask, last year. That doesn't hurt you. That's not even your real nose.
You
But-
don't know how big this mask is.
It's awesome. I think it's the coolest mask. I'm getting better, aren't I?
Yeah.
How is it? Like a 4. It's not the worst.
I saw 5.
A solid- Oh my gosh, my loin fruit. You're an angel. You're an angel.
I am.
Lols do. I hope he doesn't do any lols do's. We got pads in the living room for that. Does you know what? That's something I can say about Scooby-Doo. He never has, like, whenever they go to the haunted houses and stuff, he never has to, like, drop a Scooby-Doo's.
And I'm pretty sure he doesn't have it's just because every time comes to anus.
He doesn't have an anus?
Like, if you look at the cartoon, a butthole.
But he eats all the time, so where's the food going?
I mean, he is an alien canonically, so.
He's
I mean,
canonically an
in one cell.
alien.
In
So
one
Mystery
cell,
Inc.
one
Mystery
cell.
Inc. Well,
And that was
I ask you, chat, which I lovingly call the chat here the gory hole. I ask you, do you think Scooby-Doo poops? Danny, poop is not a swear word. This is still family safe. And if so, when and where is this occurring? Let me know. Okay, we got the DJ Plays favorites. Hello, one and all. I don't think I have met you before, DJ, but welcome. Hope you're having a good time. Okay. Oh my gosh, yes. Steven was an amazing person, absolutely. He didn't let anything stop him from sharing his love of movies, especially Scream. Yeah, I think that's a big part of why I am excited for the movie. Knight and I watched the trailer together, and yeah, whenever it's anything Scream, like I've been watching the movie a lot lately, I can hear him being like, get it up and stuff. So yeah, I miss him a lot. And he was still a member of my channel. Like, that's the thing I really feel bad about, is even though I wasn't on YouTube when I was on YouTube, but I was doing my book club, he would still drop in just to say hi and such. He stayed a member of my channel until the end. And so that's why he's permanently just gonna be kept as a channel member. Yeah, and I think I'm gonna do what I did and add his channel into my description and stuff too, because he still has so much great content, guys. If you can look in my channel favorites, he is in there for a link to his channel. He has so much great content. He's such a big-hearted person. He cared so passionately about everyone who watched his channel, but especially if you love Scream, you love Wes Craven, or you just love horror. So much great stuff in there on his channel. So still absolutely relevant. You absolutely should check it out. Hey, you subscribed? Well, thank you. Scooby Snacks. All right. Thank you, Val. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you guys coming and checking out the stream. It's fun to actually get a chat with you guys. I hope you guys don't ever feel like when I have a guest on here, I ignore you, because it's just when I have a guest, I try to focus on them and let them dictate the conversation and check in with the chat without interrupting. But it's kind of nice to have this stream where I can just focus on what you guys are saying and talking to you and interacting with you guys, because, you know, you guys are my friends too. So this is really nice. I'm glad we're doing this. Are you glad we're doing this? Yeah, we were a little nervous, but we're having fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Jamie says, I survived a stroke in February and it gave me a new zest for life. Going to Scarefest was my affirmation of life. That is really, really cool. I am so glad you survived and that you are okay. And yeah, I mean, I'm glad you did that. I think doing things that may be a little outside of our comfort zone, when you do them, you feel reinvigorated. Like the tarantulas, which you can see back here. I don't know how well you can see Cuddles. She's got so much webbing, but you can see Pipkin. 3 years ago, I was terrified of spiders, and then I adopted my first jumping spider. I worked my way up to tarantulas, and it feels good not to have that holding me back. Now I'm trying to work on my fear of roller coasters. I want to spend a whole day at a roller coaster park next year with my father-in-law. You don't have to. You can just hold my stuff. Yeah? We can go on a kiddie coaster together. We can eat foods. But yeah, I want to go and I want to try to do as many things as I can. I don't want to not do anything because I'm out of time or I don't have enough time or because I'm afraid. I don't want to be limited. Like I want to go to Universal Florida. I love Universal Studios. I want to travel more, do a lot of things. Yeah. So I'm really really glad that you did that. I'm glad you had so much fun. I'm glad you're healthy and that you're with us. Okay. Come on up north to the frozen tundra. How far up north? Are we talking Canada? I love Canada because I live in Washington State. Canada is great, right? I really love you back here, even though I don't know they can hear you. I feel like you're like my Robin on Howard Stern,
Yeah.
or like the guy.
Yeah.
Whenever you watch those late shows, there's always the guy off to the side with like a guitar or something. You're that guy, but like way cooler. But I have to turn around to see you, so hopefully they can still hear me. Can you guys hear him at all? I don't know how well you can hear him.
Nobody can hear me, Mom. I've not been talking this entire time. You're insane.
Oh, we love him. So yeah, we actually got up to Canada quite a bit. I haven't been for a while because I need to get my passport renewed, which I'm gonna do soon because there's a fan expo in BC next year that's gonna have all of the Hobbitses, and and it's gonna have James Marsters. I really want to meet him from Buffy. He's Spike. So plus Danny wrestles in Canada a lot. And I haven't been able to go to his last few shows or so. So I definitely want, that's another thing I want to do. I want to support Danny and his wrestling up in Canada. Okay. Okay, I'm not too far behind on the chat. We're doing okay.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Thank you. He's so sweet, guys. Jamie says, I drove to Kentucky from New York State. Wow. So you're a New Yorker. 7-hour drive. Not only did I meet Miguel, but he gave me a 20 out of his pocket that I will never spend and probably frame it. Wow. That's really sweet of him. Why did he give you a 20? Like, is there a story behind that? I mean, it's just sweet in general, but yeah, 7-hour drive. It's so crazy to me because I grew up in England. So in England, a 7-hour drive can get you from one end of the continent to the other. But it's also weird to me because I live in Washington State, where 7 hours, that'll take you from about where I live to Forks, Washington, where the sparkly vampires are. But especially on the East Coast, there's so many smaller states, and it's incredible how many states you can cross through in the time it would take you to go from one end of our state to the other.
Yeah.
I want to go on an epic American road trip. I want you to come too.
Maybe.
Dude, we haven't even seen Graceland. That's where Elvis is from. Yeah, dude, of course I'm sure that's where Elvis is from. Oh my gosh. Am I sure? Yeah. Ooh, yeah. I love him in part 5. Those damn enchiladas. He signed your Return of the Living Dead steelbook. He was so nice. He seems super nice. There are some celebrities that they seem super nice. Don Mancini was the nicest person I met at this last one. And Garrett Sanders, who created Monster High, he was super sweet. Some of them, I mean, they're polite. I've never met anyone who was rude, but some of them you have a real connection with, and it makes it extra special. Night of the Creeps movie watch. I'd be down for that. We haven't done a watch party for a while. Mummy B Movie. We should watch The Long Walk together. I'm due for a visit up to where Mummy B Movie lives in Moses Lake, so we should watch that. Heather also preferred The Long Walk over the book. I think I read your review on Goodreads, and I think we had similar thoughts. I thought the boys were just so much more likable in the movie, which I don't know if you heard my podcast, but I go into a lot more detail about it. You did, yes, but they are so much more likable in the movie, and I think that for me made the biggest difference. There's a lot of weird, random, just stuff like them being just overly horny in the book that was kind of off-putting. Spooters. Jamie says, I've been to Universal Florida. It was amazing, especially Harry Potter World. Universal Florida, so what we have here, I've been to our Universal in Hollywood. I call it ours because I'm the closest one. That's really cool because they have the studio lot tour, which is really, really neat. But we don't have as many of the big rides that Florida has because they just have all the space. So I would love to go on like the Hagrid's motorbike run, and there's the Velocicoaster. That might be too intense for me. But we are getting a new roller coaster that we're getting this Fast and the Furious one.
Oh boy.
So
Hopefully it's not
no,
bad,
no,
but-
no, don't hate, don't hate.
No. The last one was like infamously bad. You know,
Okay, that's part of the studio tour, the Fast and the Furious and the studio tour.
It was really Florida. I was not part of studio tour. That is bad.
Oh, I don't remember.
It's the party bus, the dark and 3D one.
Yeah, dude. I told you that's on the studio tour.
No, that's its own ride.
It did.
Yeah.
Interesting. So the new Fast and the Furious coaster, you know how there's the upper lot
Yeah.
and then there's the lower lot? This one will go from the upper lot to the lower lot and back up again. It will go around the escalator. Isn't that insane? And then so that you have the drifting, you know, that's a thing cars do.
Yeah.
The individual cars will spin around as well. So maybe I can get over my roller coaster fear enough to go on that next time.
I mean, hey, if it's on ground level, I'll do it. Nah.
It's not.
I'm at the line. I hate running on.
It's gonna be cool. Doc met James Marsters. I really want to meet him. He seems super sweet. I have a lot of friends who've met him, and they all say the same thing, that he's super sweet. You know what I would love to do? I would love to go to Hellmouth Con. Have you guys heard of Hellmouth Con? It's a just strictly Buffyverse convention. So they get people from Buffy and Angel, and they host it at Torrance High, which is, it's been on, Torrance High has been on a lot of movies and like 90210 and such, but notably it's where Buffy went to high school and college. And so, yeah, I think that would be incredible. And it's in California, which isn't super far away. He goes to that one a lot, and so does Juliet Landau, who I also have not met. So I'm either going to meet him at Fan Expo, or hopefully he'll be at Hellmouth Con and I can do that. Unfortunately, Hellmouth Con's usually in May, which I have Crypticon and a lot of other stuff. Have I been to Niagara Falls or Toronto? I think Niagara Falls is over on the East Coast, if I'm not mistaken. So I've never been there, but I think it's quite far away from where I'm at. I'm closer. I'm in Washington State, so I'm closer to like BC. The frozen tundra is Wisconsin. Well, Wisconsin has cheese, right? I think that's what they're known for, so we should check it out for the cheese. We love cheese. You are a WrestleManiac. WWE or WWF. So it used to be WWF, and now it's WWE. Honestly, these days, I'm more into AEW for many, many reasons. But I like Orange Cassidy. I like Danhausen. I like Saraya. I like a lot of the people on AEW, I think, a little bit more. Wait until you come to New Mexico. We have aliens and goat suckers. You'll dehydrate. I have not been to New Mexico yet, but I do have a Derby sister who moved it down there, and she lives in Roswell. So she says I can come visit her, and we're going to go look for the aliens. So maybe I'll have to visit you too, Doc. Okay, so what is this? Miguel was giving me change for getting his autograph. He actually walked up to me and gave hubby a fist bump and took us over to his table. I was floored. That is so cool. That's really cool. I think the nicest person I think we met was Matthew Lillard, right? Lol says he's barely met anyone. He was the youngest panelist at Crypticon Seattle. He did a panel on introducing your kids to horror. And how old were you then? I think you were like 12.
Wow. Yeah.
Right?
I
don't know. I don't know. You were young. You weren't a teenager yet. But he mostly really wanted... Are you hot?
Yeah.
You can leave. It's okay.
It's fine. I just need to be
Okay. He really wanted to meet Matthew Lillard, and he was super nervous. And we went to Matthew Lillard's panel, and there was a lot of people in the crowd who were really annoying. So he kind of ignored a lot of questions, but when Lols raised his hand, he walked right up to him and said, "What's your question, buddy?" And you asked him what his favorite Scooby-Doo series is, and he said Mystery Incorporated, and he did the Shaggy voice for you in your ear, right?
Yes.
So it was just for you. And then the next day, we went up to his table, and he remembered him, and we had already set up Lols with an autograph and a picture for when he met him, but he's like, oh, I want to give you something. Can I give you something? And I like that he asked him if he could give him something instead of just assuming that because he's a celebrity, it's okay. But yeah, he gave him this Scooby-Doo beanie and they took pictures together and it was really sweet.
Yeah.
He was really nice. He's a really kind person.
Stay back. Can you breathe?
Yeah. Well, you're welcome back anytime, my love.
No, I'll be here. So good.
You're gonna wait off camera. I can see the bottom of your mask.
Yes, I'm here.
Jamie is very close to Niagara Falls. So yes, it is by New York State. See, I know a little bit of geography. A lot of that, education from high school and middle school and grade school has been dumped to make room for more horror knowledge. I mean, I remember how to add and subtract. That's really all you need.
That's all you need, baby.
Val lives in Wisconsin. Okay, I'm all caught up. So Val says, and yes, we call the Green Bay area the frozen tundra because of a football game we had at our open stadium there. And the temp was negative 30 degrees with wind chill. It was the first Super Bowl called the Ice Bowl. Yeah, it gets pretty cold here. I don't know how it compares to Wisconsin. What is the lowest temp that we get here? I know we have more rain. But a lot of people think all of Washington is super rainy, and it's really just the coast. So, like Seattle, Forks. I live on the other side of the mountain, so it gets really dry and hot here during the summer. We call it construction and fire season because we get fires and it gets really, really bad. We have some of them are started. Some of them we get a lot of dry thunderstorms. So it's when you have lightning but no rain. So we have a ton of forest fires. And then in the winter, we get like 6 feet of snow. It's ridiculous. Let me see. Lowest Washington state temperature. Let's see. So yeah, that's really cold. Our lowest was 48 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's freezing. That's not a thumbs up. That's a thumbs down. That's not safe. That's not safe. That's like when people would do that thing where they'd throw out the bucket of water and it would freeze. Yikes, that's scary. Jamie hopes to meet Matthew Lillard one day. I want to meet Matthew Lillard again because the last time it was really, really focused on Lulz and his experience. I didn't want to take away from that. But I do have a Scream poster now. And David Arquette has signed it. He was very sweet. I just had Jamie Kennedy sign it. And I've had Roger Jackson sign it. So I'd like to get everybody to sign it. Okay, I'm all caught up with the chat. If you guys have any requests for what we're going to chat about for the rest of the stream, let me know. If not, I have ideas.
You have many ideas. No, not that great for timecast, but you have many ideas.
So we're not going to talk about any probably not talk about any dongs or anything.
That I know. I mean, Dan would hate that.
I mean, I will say, okay, just brief segue. Dan, we're not swearing. I'm just saying it has been a decent year for dong droppage in horror movies.
Yeah.
Because we had Nosferatu, and The Toxic Avenger had 2.
Yeah.
But we'll leave it at that. We'll move on. We want to keep this, family friendly.
I can watch the time.
Now we don't want everyone to leave us. Let's see here. I am reading a book called We Can Never Leave. Okay, well, you know what? We'll talk about that instead. What did I think of weapons? I feel like I just got asked this recently. I think it was on the last stream. So I did talk about this in the last term. I talked about it with Lizzie a little bit, but to recap, I really loved Barbarian. Barbarian, I think, is a 5-star movie. Absolutely loved it. I loved how it's entertaining as a horror movie, but there are layers, so you can pick it apart and stuff. I like movies like that. I thought it was fantastic. So I was so excited for Weapons. The trailer looked super intriguing where all these kids just run out of their house in the middle of the night and nobody knows why. So you have this great mystery and it's really set up a lot like how Barbarian was, where we have different point of view chapters and they're told out of order a little bit. And with each one, we get more of the story. The actors are all fantastic. I liked everybody in it. But ultimately, the mystery was kind of a letdown. The answer to why did all the kids run out, it's a pretty simple one note answer. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it was pretty weak. And it's one of the explanations in horror films that I just have gotten really bored with because I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but it doesn't give you a lot of, it doesn't really explain why they did what they did. Now, I know they're doing a prequel about the being, I'm going to keep it vague, that is the cause of it. And maybe that will be more interesting. But I thought ultimately the reveal was something that has been done before. So I didn't hate it, but I think I gave it like 2.5 or 3 stars. It was decent, but I was pretty lukewarm on the whole thing. But mad respect to any of you that loved it. I mean, I think it's cool that, you know, you like horror movies and such. And I think we can all like different horror movies and respect each other's opinions.
No, Mom, no. They only have the same opinion as you, Mom.
No. I think my opinions lately have been pretty unpopular. So I would think that a lot of them probably have different opinions than me. And like I said, I have a unpopular opinion on that. So absolutely, if it interests you, you should go check it out. For me, my favorite horror movies of the year have been Companion, The Toxic Avenger, you know what? I'm just going to go look on Letterboxd. I am on Letterboxd if you are curious. I have a list on there. Okay, so my top 5 horror movies of 2025 are Companion. I also really liked the Naked Gun remake. I didn't expect to like it so much, but I loved it. Companion, The Toxic Avenger, The Long Walk, Final Destination, Bloodlines. That was surprisingly really good. And K-pop Demon Hunters. Does that count as a horror movie?
I say no.
Lol says no. So then I would say Dangerous Animals. So yeah, those are my top 5. But there's been a lot this year. But yeah, my top 5, I think it's like a lot of movies. It's probably not what everybody else would pick. So you should go check it out. A lot of people like it. Most likely you would like it too. Okay, Heather says, how did you get into roller derby? I think that is so cool. I've been to a couple of shows here in Nashville, and it looks brutal but fun. Lols, would you get my poster off the wall?
Where is it?
It's right there, the roller derby one.
Oh, it is.
You're an angel. Don't step on dogs. It's okay, you didn't step on anybody. He did drop his mask on Brewster, though. Okay, so this is from my very first bout back in the day. This one's me, Gory B Movie. Dun, 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 dun. I played for Apple City Roller Derby. Let's see, how did I get started? So I had just graduated from college, and I had moved back to stay with my mom while I figured out where I was going to go and what I was going to do for work and such. Thank you, Lols. You're an angel. And I remember Whip It came out, and I thought that was really cool. And then I watched a documentary about the Rat City Roller Girls called Blood on the Flat Track. And I thought that was so cool. And it would be really neat if we had a roller derby team in my town in Wenatchee. So I was looking online, and finally on Facebook, somebody had posted that they were trying to start a league, and there would be a meeting. And I think only like less than 10 people showed up to that meeting. But we kind of started planning out what the league would be. And we didn't have a place to skate yet or anything. You're freaking me out. You're making faces at me. Go sit down.
Never.
We didn't even have a place to skate yet. So initially, they rented this area out where we couldn't skate there, but we could work out. And it was just really nice. We had a lot of people involved, and we would work out. We'd work on our strength training. But it's just a really cool, like, it's like 500 people, I mean, at its height. So, you know, it's like a cool sisterhood and a lot of different personalities. But I think it really helped me learn how to understand people of different personality types, how to work as a team. Because everything's for the skater, by the skater. So everybody in a roller derby league has a job. Mine was the website, but we also all had to work on getting sponsors and stuff. And eventually we did get a place to practice. It was like this underneath some store. It was really bad. There was tons of dust. And so you would skate, but then you'd go out and you'd have to like yarf up a bunch of black stuff. It was disgusting. Eventually, we got a really cool practice place, though. We had a room for like those of us who had kids where the kids could hang out, and we had an older kid watching them. We had a lot of different areas where we could all skate, and we practiced. And then it was like after a year of doing this, first working out, then we have a really cool loop that goes around the river here, goes over the bridge around the river. We'd skate all the time outside, anywhere we could. And we had like a whole year of just practicing, going down to the skate rink that's over in Soap Lake. And finally, we separated into teams. We had 3 teams: the Hydro Electras, they were the nice girl team; the Black Label Barbies, they were like, they were really, really good and athletic and intimidating. And then my team, the Jawbreakers, where a lot of people said we were like kind of like the Breakfast Club. We just had a little bit of everything. We were kind of the misfit team. Um, my team was freaking awesome. We were so fun. And yeah, we weren't, the Black Label Bars won a majority of them, but we were kind of like the wild card team where, we won some, we lost some. But I mean, the biggest thing is just that we've all stayed really, really close. We're actually planning to get together at the end of this month for one of our Derby sisters' birthdays. We're going to go to the skate rink together. So we've all stayed close. The friend in Roswell is a Derby sister. Yeah, and I did it for about 5 years. It's a lot. I will say roller derby is a lot. It's hard to have a lot else going on in your life because we would practice 2 to 3 times a week. Then there's bouts, which is like our games. Then there's like camps we would go to. It takes up a lot of time. And after about 5 years, our league also changed. So originally it was really fun. Like Danny was a cheerleader. On my team, we had this big gorilla. His name was Tutu Kachu. And so Danny was in the costume. He had like a little tutu and pom poms and stuff. It was really fun. I would do face paint. My derby name is Gory B Movie, number NC17. So that's where that came from. And that's why my name is Gory B Movie here. It was really, really fun. And it had a lot of personality and such. And then we got a new league. I don't know what you would call them. The person who was in charge of our leagues, they got rid of our teams, which was the first thing that made me really sad. And they homogenized us into basically an A team, which is like the best of our skaters, and a B team. And so we didn't have our local bouts anymore. And they didn't want face painting. They didn't want cheerleaders. They wanted us to be taken seriously as a sport. So they completely redid everything, but they also took a lot of the fun out of it. And that was when I was like, you know what? I've had a really good run. I've really enjoyed it, but now I think is the time I'm gonna go on a new adventure. And that's when we started YouTube. So that same year, Danny started Horror Addicts, and that led to this channel. And yeah, I'm still Gory B Movie. So yeah, I know some people think like that's a weird horror host name, but I just kept it because after 5 years of roller derby, I respond to Gory B Movie just as well as I respond to my given name. So it seemed fitting for a horror channel, which you helped come up with Gory B Movie.
Yeah.
So originally, I was on the Jawbreakers, and we had to come up with our derby name and our number. Originally, I had like Alice Cooper face paint, and I wanted to be Malice Cooper. I thought that would be cool. But somebody else had already had it. You have to register your derby name. So you can't be something that any other derby girl in the United States has had. There's a lot of rules. You have to like also pass all these tests and stuff. Like you have to be able to jump so high and skate like so many laps in 5 minutes. It's a lot. Anyway, so then I was like, well, I'm going to pick a Ninja Turtle name because he really liked Ninja Turtles and I wanted him to think I was cool. And so I was trying to do a play on like Donatello, my favorite Ninja Turtle. But Lols said that was a bad idea, that I'm too nice, and that they would eat me alive. So he thought I should be like Scary Mommy or Bloody Mommy. And then Danny and I were tossing around ideas, and eventually we came down to Gory B Movie, which, I mean, it did work because I would have my face painted. I did a different face for each season I played. So, like, one year I had Saw makeup, one year it was Jason, and a lot of people thought it was a real mask, but I wouldn't be doing anything. I am slightly tall for a woman, so I wouldn't be doing anything. I'd just be standing there on the start line. But a lot of people would be like, oh my gosh, I was so scared of you. You were so intimidating. I'm just like, I was literally just standing there, dude. I was not trying to be intimidating at all. It's just the face paint would do that. So it helped a lot. So Laws was right. Yeah. It made me intimidating, even though I'm not very intimidating. Okay. So that's that whole backstory. Okay. Mr. Flixer says, my top 5 horror movies of 2025 are Final Destination Bloodlines. That's cool. I haven't seen Frankenstein yet. So you're talking about the new Guillermo del Toro one that didn't it come out on Netflix? Tell me more about that. Sinners. I have had everyone tell me how good Sinners is. And I really wanted to see it in the cinema because with my ADD, it's just really, really hard to focus for 2 hours on a movie. And I want to give it my undivided attention. But when it came out the first time, I missed it. And then I thought it was supposed to come out during Halloween, but it didn't come out here. I really do just need to sit down and watch it. It's just so long. So whenever Danny and I are going to put on a movie, if I'm at all tired and I'm worried I'm going to fall asleep, I will pick something else. But I do need to see it because I know I'm probably going to love it. Oh, and Predator, Killer of Killers, and Weapons. So yeah, we have Final Destination Bloodlines in common. I need to see Frankenstein and I need to see Sinners. Okay. So Danny says, yeah, it went from Scary Moon Zombie. That's because a lot of Derby names are kind of a play on celebrity names. So that's when we thought about Bloody B Movie and then Perfect Gory B Movie. And I always knew I wanted my number to be NC-17. And in roller derby, I wanted 17 because it's my birthday anyway. And 17 is my lucky number. But we already had a girl who picked 17, which is fine because letters count as numbers in roller derby. So when you get in trouble, like you elbow somebody by accident, or anything, the refs will call you out. They'll call you out by your number. So they'll be like, NC-17. Anyway, so yeah, it was cool. My hair's being all crazy. No, you didn't do anything. You're a lovely, lovely angel. Okay. Everybody in the chat, let me know what your top 5 horror movies of 2025 are. I think this is pretty cool. What are your top 2?
The 2 I've seen this year.
What are they?
I've seen one. Top 5.
Laws isn't a big horror movie fan, but he does love Scooby-Doo. Did we even get a new Scooby-Doo movie this year? What a bummer. It's a drought, man. It's a drought.
Drought happens to be when anything bad happens, and we had a bummer, so drought.
Okay, so Heather's are Companion. Same number 1 as me. I love Companion so much. It's so good. In fact, I don't know if you guys saw the Oscars. The Oscars are the Oscars that we do over on Horror Addicts every year. It's easy to remember because it's always the same night as the Oscars. But the Oscars don't really give horror a chance. So we decided to do our own Scares on the same night, and it's strictly horror. And it's all nominated by you guys. So do follow Horror Addicts on all your social media because Danny will post asking you guys for nominations. They're all nominated by you. And then everybody that we know in the horror community, we send out ballots to the Academy of Horror Nerds, and they are voted on. So last year, I got to present Best Horror Book with Kayla from our book club, and we had so much fun. We made like a little mini movie. You can watch the little mini movie. I think it's on this channel. But at the end of it, we do a dance. And it took us forever, but Kayla used to be a cheerleader, so she was really good at helping me. But we did a little dance, and we stole it from Companion. It's from the Meet Cute with that they showed twice in the movie with the guy steps on the dinosaur tail. That one. Okay, so Companion, Sinners. I gotta see Sinners. Heart Eyes. I really liked Heart Eyes. Heart Eyes was fun. Final Destination Bloodlines. I'm so glad so many people like that because I know when it was first announced, a lot of people were really skeptical, myself included, because a lot of the Final Destination sequels have been kind of meh. I think Final Destination 2 and 1 tend to be the more popular ones, and especially 5. The one that was in 3D was not so good. It's just The Final Destination, I think it was called. I don't know. I could be getting the titles mixed up. A lot of them aren't super memorable. But then they did Bloodlines, and the way it tied into the lore, it had memorable kills. And I think what else made it special is it had characters you actually cared about. And we haven't had that since like 1 and 2. You know, I know a lot of people love Clear Rivers, a lot of people loved Alex, but most of the characters in the movies, I did like the girl in part 3, but most of the characters are really forgettable. And in this one, like, I loved that this family was genuinely trying to help each other out and they really cared about each other. So it made me care about them more. And The Long Walk, it's so good. Mr. Flickster says, Frankenstein and Sinners especially helped restore my faith in horror cinema. I need to see both of them. You know what? What am I doing tomorrow? Tomorrow we're doing a meeting for Strange and Unusual Book Club, but maybe after that I'll watch. Maybe we'll watch Sinners. You want to watch Sinners with me?
Yeah, maybe.
I think you might like Sinners. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on the plot here, but it's about these two twin brothers, both played by Michael B. Jordan, and they have left their town for a while, but they have returned. And there is a group of people there who are basically vampires. I guess it's revealed like halfway through, and then they need to fight them. But there's a lot of other stuff there, and there's layers and deeper meanings to it. That's like the simplified version. So, all right. Hey, Sean, nice to see you here. We're just hanging out. It's just gory talk. I usually have friends on the show, so if you're ever interested in being a guest, let me know. But today, my guests are everybody in the chat in the gory hole. Mr. Flickster says the best Scooby-Doo movie is Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. What do you think?
I mean, it's debatable. I mean, if we want to talk about like, pure story-wise, I do agree. Yeah, but like, I think there's a lot of fun things about the latest Scooby-Doo movies. We can't be safe about Zombie Island. They tackle a lot of different genres that Scooby-Doo does not typically take. Fun, like a good example is Can I talk? Moon Monster Madness, which is more sci-fi and dystopian based by sci-fi, which is fun. I mean, but I do agree. Like, if you're talking pure quality, yeah, it's Zombie Island.
Okay, so what he's saying is, because I don't know how well you can hear him with the mask on and being behind me, is he thinks pure story-wise probably is Zombie Island, but he also likes how a lot of the more recent ones, like the Moon Monster Madness, the one that has like a xenomorph in it, he likes how they play with genres, like how that one has like sci-fi elements. I think my favorite Scooby-Doo movie of all time is Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, which I had to be on bed rest for like a whole month, and I watched that like nonstop just because it's in the DVD player. Plus, it's really fun. I never got tired of it. Might be why Lulz is such a big Scooby-Doo fan. But that one's probably mine. Of the animated ones, pretty much anything with the Hex Girls. Even though it's horribly inaccurate to Wicca, maybe the Witch's Ghost.
I mean, there's only 2 Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, then there's Music of the Vampire, right?
No. It's really confusing. It's stupid.
There's 2 called the Vampire one.
Yeah.
What's the one with the Hex Girls?
The way you remember it is, the one all about music is called Legend of the Vampires. And the one about a play that just happens to have a musical in it is Music of Vampire.
So, the one that does not have the Hex Girls is Music of the Vampire. I was wrong. The one that does have them and they're in like a gorge type music contest, it's like out in the desert, is Legend of the Vampire. So I like that one a lot too. I love the Hex Girls. I really want to cosplay as Thorn one of these days. Okay, going through. Hey Josh, what's happening? Nice to see you here. Companion is great. Top 10 for sure. I love it so much. It's so unique. It was the first movie, and I work with AI, I don't know what that says about me. I think mostly ethically. I don't know. I'm just going to leave that out there. I work with AI. I personally don't think we have to be as worried about a lot of like AI stuff. Like, I don't ever worry about like Skynet and stuff because in my experience, AI is really hard to train and it has a long way to go. But Companion actually made me have sympathy for an AI character. Like, Kayla is always getting on me for being mean to my Alexa. But now, since I've seen Companion, I've been a lot nicer. I have a little more respect. I'm thinking of him more as like the cookies in Black Mirror. Sean says, I know what you did last summer, Megan 2.0. Are those in your top 5?
Or is it just one sentence? I know you did ASMR.
No, it's not one sentence.
No, it's like a phrase. Like, I know you did ASMR.
Oh my goodness. Peaches is on the move. All right, taking your spider break. I don't know how well you can see her. There she is.
I'm gonna get some water. I might be gone for the rest of the stream.
Okay. We can't focus too well, but that is Peaches in her Super Nintendo house. She's on the move. She's usually asleep this time of night, but she is an old lady. Oh my goodness. Hey. Yes. Everybody loves you. That's just lols. You're fine. Okay. Hey, buddy, you're fine. So, yeah, she just turned 2, which in jumping spider years makes her like 80. But she's super active. She's really unique in that all of my female jumping spiders, when they mature, they will lay infertile eggs, so they don't hatch or anything. They're just infertile. She never has. She's super active. She loves to hunt. She's really friendly. Real sweetheart. Mr. Flickster says Halloween 2025 infuses the gothic style of early horror movies with contemporary technology. The sets and costumes are fabulous. The scope is incredible. The gore effects are amazingly grotesque. That sounds incredible. I think that's on Netflix, isn't it? Or is it in cinemas? Let me know. I know there's like, aren't there 2 this year? I could be wrong. Danny. He says, my top 5 so far. Toxic Avenger. I love it so much. Yes, for having an LP superhero. Love it. The Long Walk. Companion. Bring Her Back, and Good Boy. That's a really, really good list. I really do like Bring Her Back as well. I think that's like my number 6. The thing is with Bring Her Back, it's not one I'm going to rewatch a lot. It's really depressing, but it's good. And I did think about it a lot. And I do think it's horrifying. I think it's one of the scariest movies of the year. And I love Good Boy a lot. Mr. Flickster says he'd like to be a guest. I'd love to have you as a guest. So I'll DM you, Mr. Flickster, and we can catch up. That'd be fun. But yeah, I stream Wednesdays and Sundays. Wednesdays at 5. Sundays I've been doing it at 6 Pacific Standard Time, but it could be 5 depending on what works for people. I found having 2 days a week works for a lot of people. I have a lot of my November booked, but then there are also days like today where I've got nobody on the show. So yeah, I'll message you and see what you have available. He also loved Toxic Avenger, and he met Scott Inez once. What is my favorite season of Buffy? Okay, my favorite season of Buffy, I'm going to say season 2. That was the season that really made me a big fan of Buffy. I don't know if I've talked to you guys about my whole Buffy journey. I don't know if that's even an interesting story. But, hi, baby. Would you like me to put you down? Okay. Let's put you on this little couch. There you go. So when Buffy was going to come on, I'm about the same age as Buffy. I'm also born in 1981. So I'm the same age as the character, not the actress. And I remember when it was coming out, I was super excited because I love the movie. And I was all set to watch it. And then I realized we didn't have the channel in my small one Starbucks town. So that was a big bummer. But I did buy the Watcher's Guide, which is like a guide to the show. It's back here. I think it's up here. I bought that, and so I knew about a lot of the episodes. I read all of the novelizations of the episodes. I bought the VHS tapes, which are over here. I bought the VHS tapes, but I still hadn't seen all of them. Eventually, I met a friend at the place I worked at, a video store called Hastings, and she was in a Xena group, and that girl would send her episodes of Xena on VHS tape. It's making me sound super old. And she asked her if she would record Buffy and send it to us. So yeah, then I finally got to catch up on Buffy. But yeah, season 1's fun. It's very episodic, though. I mean, they didn't know they were going to get a second season. But season 2, the whole storyline with Angel, I loved that. There's just a lot in season 2 I really love. I love the introduction of Spike. But right behind that would be season 3, because I love the introduction of Faith. I think Willow really develops as a character. Season 3, we get a lot more of Oz. So season 2 and 3, I would say, are my favorite. But there's really not a season of Buffy I don't love. I mean, I think even what I would consider the bottom of my Buffy list is still the best episode on television. I love Buffy so much. It's one of the only shows where I can name like every episode by its title. I love it. I have been thinking about, I was going to do a podcast, but I just started the book club podcast. But I've been thinking about on this channel doing some kind of a Buffy thing. I was thinking about having a show called Must Be Tuesday, you know, because Dawn's in trouble, Must Be Tuesday. But I'm not sure what I want to do with it. I've been tossing the idea around in my head. I don't know. You guys let me know what sounds good to you. I've tossed around the idea of doing more like essay style, just talking about maybe different themes and characters. And I've also tossed around the idea of going episode by episode and kind of going into behind the scenes information, but also analyzing the episode's themes and characters. I don't know. Does that sound interesting to you? There's already a ton of Buffy stuff out there. I don't even know if I would have anything else to add to it, but I'm a massive fan, so I would like to do something. I love how Companion is the opposite of every AI horror movie. Me too. Peaches, 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 peaches. It's on Netflix. Yeah, Bring Her Back is not a fun. Thank you. Yes, The Omen. So good. Season 3 for me. I just finished Angel this year for the first time. Angel was kind of an odd one for me. So at the time, I was again working at Hastings, and the person who was sending us episodes of Buffy on VHS, they threw in one of the Angel episodes. And I'm not as savvy with Angel. I can't name every episode by title, but it's one of the ones from first season. It's the one where they go to like a brothel. And I was just like, this is so different than Buffy. And it wasn't different in a way I really liked. So we had the first season on DVD at my work, but I just had never gotten around to watching it. And then finally, I mean, at the time I didn't have kids. I had disposable income. I was a waitress. And I just had a really bad breakup. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go buy something for myself. And so I went and bought this first season of Angel. I sat down, watched the whole thing in one setting, and I absolutely adore Angel. Not quite as much as Buffy, but right behind it. It's so good. Season 2 had higher stakes. I was shocked when it had main character deaths and went way dark. I will love Buffy content. You do. It's probably my favorite show next to the Gilmore Girls. I love the Gilmore Girls too, and I visited Stars Hollow at Universal. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Episode by episode, or more just in general? Like I follow a lot of channels where they do essays on Buffy, and I think those are great. But I also like ones that go episode by episode. There are a lot of podcasts that have done that, but with the exception of Passion of the Nerd, and I think Reverse Angle, I don't know a whole lot of YouTube shows that have gone episode by episode. I don't know. Let me know what you think of that. Hi, baby. What's wrong? Would you like some attention? I'm here. Allow me to give you attention. Let's see here. Wow, we've been streaming for a whole hour. It's just flown by, guys. Flown by. And I had some backup topics in case you guys didn't have anything, but you guys have been providing lots of interesting conversations. So I like that. If you guys haven't already told me your top 5 favorite horror movies of the year, let me know. I definitely need to see Frankenstein. I need to see Sinners. I guess, okay, so what are the movies I really want to see that I haven't seen? Yeah, I haven't seen The Black Phone 2. Let me go take a look. I have a list of my watch list, ones I haven't seen yet that I need to see. I'm going to go take a look at that real quick. What do you think, Brewster? This is Brewster. He is a sweet baby. He's wearing a little sweater because he gets cold. He's 13 years old, so he's an old man, even though he has the sweetest little baby face. And his brother Brocky is on the floor. I can't remember. Definitely Sinners, Black Phone 2, Frankenstein just came out, but definitely that one. And I really want to see Silent Night, Deadly Night. It's going to have the guy who was in Halloween Ends. I think his name's Rowan Campbell. I could be wrong about that. But I thought he was really good, and I like Silent Night, Deadly Night. Spike shows up and makes the show much more interesting. I agree. So he shows up in the episode School Hard in season 2. And I think his growth is really cool too. Oh, that's another idea I had. Throwing out ideas there for content, but I thought about doing, because I do a panel on the evolution of the final girl, I talk about, the beginning of the final girl to kind of where we are today and how it's changed decade by decade. But for some of our bigger final girls, like Laurie Strode, who have had multiple iterations, I thought it would be kind of fun to trace like the whole evolution of like Laurie Strode as a final girl, and maybe some other ones like Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street. I did see Together, and I thought it was pretty good. It was some good body horror. I liked the film Subservience. That was fun. Oh yeah, that's the one. Did they have? Yeah, it has Megan Fox in it. It was a fun AI horror flick. Megan Fox was believable as the robot nanny from hell. I really like Megan Fox. Jennifer's Body is one of my favorite movies. I haven't seen that yet, but Danny saw it. It's got the guy from like what is it? The 365 days. The Are You Lost, Baby Girl? It's got that guy in it. So I'll have to check that out. All right, I'm writing that on my list of ones I need to watch. Subservience. All right. I did see Together. Is there anything? What other ones I'm missing? I feel like, I haven't seen Bone Lake. Have you guys seen Bone Lake? Is that any good? Do I need to watch that? What do you think? So, Brewster, fun fact, he's only ever enjoyed one horror movie in his entire life. Remember this? It was a while back. I was in my room and I'm watching The Lodgers. And if you don't know what that is, it's fine. It was a very forgettable movie. It was a lot like kind of like Crimson Peak in a lot of ways. It's gothic. There are ghosts. There's siblings having relations with each other. Again, like Crimson Peak. But he was mesmerized from the very beginning to the end of the movie. He was on the edge of my bed watching it, just fixed on the TV of The Lodgers. He's never done it before. He's never done it since. I've never tried getting him to watch the movie again. I don't know if he would do it again. But I even tried to pet him and he kind of shook me off like, I'm watching The Lodgers, Mom. What do you think? Is The Lodgers still the best movie? Yeah, he says so. All right, I'm going to put you down. I'm going to put you down. Peaches, do you want to come out? No, maybe not. Mr. Flickster heard mixed things about Bone Lake. Yeah, I don't know. I do want to see it. What did you guys think of the Black Phone 2? Did you guys see the Black Phone 2? So some more upcoming movies. I really like book to movie adaptations. And we have some coming up. I haven't read The Housemaid yet. You know who I bet has seen it? Or read it, not seen it. I bet Horrorhead Heather has read The Housemaid. That was a really, really popular book. I think there might be like 2 sequels. And it's getting a movie with Sydney Sweeney in it in December. So I need to read that book because I do like adaptations. What else is being adapted? I know next year I'm really excited for Project Hail Mary. Have you guys read Project Hail Mary? It's probably my favorite book of all time. I'm super excited for that. I didn't see The Woman in Cabin 10, but I haven't read the book either. So next year, if you guys are excited about like really scary movies, like you want a movie that's going to scare the bejesus out of you, then you need to mark on your watch list. Like keep an eye out for, there's 2 adaptations that are supposed to happen. One is When You Still Live Here. There are 2 book versions of that. The one that has the house on the cover is the one that you want, by Marcus Cluyer. I can't pronounce it. I don't want to butcher his name, but Marcus K. Anyway, that one's really, really good. And it is about this couple. They flip houses. So, they buy like cool houses, they fix them up, and then they sell them for a profit. And they're staying in this house, and they one of them is at work, and the quieter one, who has a lot more anxiety, is left home alone when this family, a man, his wife, and their 2 children, come to the door. And he's like, I used to live here, can I show my kids around and stuff? And she doesn't really want to let them in, but she doesn't want to be impolite, so she does. And from there things escalate. Like they lose the little girl. She went downstairs and they can't find her anywhere, so now these people are there and they're staying the night. And the house seems to change. Like they distinctly remember that there was a stained glass window, and then you look back and it's not there anymore. And so if you're like me, somebody who is scared by the idea that you could be going crazy, that what you think you know cannot be relied upon, like that stuff scares the hell out of me. Like I think I'm more afraid of getting dementia than just about anything that could happen to me in a slasher movie. So the idea that you can't trust what you perceive as reality scares me a lot. Also, the idea of just being lost, like in our reality, there are people who know you, you know where you exist and stuff, but what would happen if like you were locked up somewhere and no one knew where you were? This movie really tackles a lot of that stuff, and it's really, really, or this book. So I'm not sure how the adaptation is coming along. I was kind of disappointed because they had announced it before all the controversy that Blake Lively would be in it. I She might work okay as the man's wife, but she wouldn't be okay as one of the two main characters. If you ask me, I pictured somebody like Kristen Stewart because it's supposed to be somebody who doesn't exude a lot of confidence and seems to have a lot of anxiety. Kristen Stewart plays that kind of character very well. Um, so I was a little hesitant about that, but then we had all the controversy, and now I haven't heard anything about this movie, but it was going to be a Netflix movie. So keep your eyes out for that one. Put it on your radar because the book is incredible. And I think if they do actually make a movie of it, it has the potential to be very, very scary. It's very, without giving you too many spoilers, it's something very much like a creepy pasta. So what's cool about the book is there's tons of hidden things in there. So you're going to see weird little things like why are all these letters weirdly capitalized? Or on the audiobook you'll hear Morse code at the end of every chapter, or in the actual book it's printed out Morse code. But there are also like advertisements and stuff mixed in there. So there's a whole bunch of mythology and such and a whole bunch of clues. And so it's really, really fun. I would compare it to something like maybe House of Leaves, but is definitely something that's going to mess with your brain. So that one, no date for it, but that they really need to make that movie. The other one is Incidents Around the House, and that's based on the book by Josh Malerman. I know Heather read these two. These were really good books. I think they came out the same year. But Incidents Around the House, it's this girl, I think she's like 8 years old, and her parents kind of make me think of like cool mom, cool parents. They think they're so cool because they're relaxed. They don't have a lot of rules. But there's a flip side to that. A lot of times, these parents who are cool parents are also not paying that much attention. They're more concerned with how they appear than what's actually going on with their kid. And that's how these parents, I'm not saying all cool parents are like that. I'm a pretty relaxed parent, and I hope I pay attention enough, or have. My kid's 21 now. But these parents are so sucked into their own world. They're having a lot of marital problems, and they're really not paying attention to what's going on with their daughter. And it opens up this space where those parents are missing. This entity comes and it's watching her from her closet. And she has like a long neck and her head kind of droops at the end, which makes me think of like the broken neck lady from Haunting in Hill House. But she pokes her head out and she talks to the girl. And initially, the girl thinks it's her friend and she calls her Other Mommy. And then Other Mommy asks her, "Can I live inside your heart?" Which, it's as scary as it sounds. She wants to possess this little girl. And this little girl has so much pain that she's tempted to let her. But she's also afraid, and she's also worried about her parents. And you might be thinking, okay, Gory, this doesn't sound like might sound interesting, but it doesn't sound like anything super terrifying. What I really loved about this book, and I mentioned this because it's going to be adapted into a movie next year. They've already cast the little girl, so they're making progress on this. I think they're in pre-production right now. All the things that normally you would shout at the screen, like get out of the house, go find a metaphysical expert, go find a ghostbuster, go do this. They try everything and it ends horribly. And these aren't like cute little ghosts who just knock stuff over in the house, or no, the Other Mommy makes their presence very well known, and they are not afraid of being seen or whatever. They can change their size to super big to very little, and it's just stuff I've never seen in a movie. And there's one particular scene in a bathroom that it's just burned into my brain for forever. So I think it has the potential to be a really scary movie. Definitely look for Incidents Around the House. And while you're waiting, check out the book by Josh Malerman. I also highly recommend the audiobook version. I've done both. I've read it and I've done the audiobook. The voice actress who does the audiobook is phenomenal at sounding like an 8-year-old girl. And that's part of it too, is this girl is so vulnerable and you really feel for her. And it pulls at your heartstrings, but it also just scares the crap out of you. It makes you know that feeling when you're a little kid and you're terrified of the dark, and then you have to go to the bathroom and it's a dark hallway and you're torn between, you don't want to have an accident and get in trouble, but you're also terrified. That feeling of being afraid of the dark, being afraid of what's under your bed, being afraid of the darkness in your closet, that book completely encapsulates that feeling. Hi, babies. Did you want me to let you outside? Okay, you're free. Go get a snack. Get a snack and come back and tell me how it was. We have been abandoned by the dogs. Hi, Peaches. Peaches, we're not abandoned by Peaches. She might come out. Okay. Now I'm going to catch up with you guys in the chat. I have not heard of Bone Lake. I will have to look it up. I don't know much about it. I've just heard it's an erotic thriller type horror movie. Mr. Flickster has not seen The Black Phone 2. Nope. As in the movie Nope? I like the movie Nope. Just watched a film called Wished Upon about a girl who finds an ancient Chinese music box that grants you 7 wishes. All right, I'm going to close it just so I can't keep an eye on it. You want to come out? You want to come out? It's up to you. Peaches, do you want to come out or not? Okay. If you don't want to come out, then I'll leave you alone. I don't think she wants to come out. Okay. Wish Upon. Yeah, I really liked Wish Upon. It has that young actress, I think her name's Joey Miller, and it had Ryan Phillippe in it. I really liked that. I thought it was it had kind of the Craft of Final Destination vibes. I definitely agree with the Final Destination vibes in that one. But I did care about the girl in that. I liked seeing Ryan Phillippe again, and it had really good deaths in it. But yeah, I thought that movie was underrated. It deserved more than it got. It was a good movie. Okay, Heather says, I have read The Housemaid and its sequels. The first 2 are great. The third book was weird. I'm pumped for the movie. I don't know much about The Housemaid, so from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, this couple hires a housemaid. She ends up finding some weird secrets about them, and then there's like a weird kind of cat and mouse between the 3 of them? I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. My mom, Nettie Piper, says, I want to see Hail Mary. So my mom never goes to the cinema anymore, but she said that she will go see that with me. Project Hail Mary, I feel like I've talked about it a lot on this channel, but oh my gosh, sorry about that, guys. I hit the microphone. If you're not familiar with it, and we have some people here who haven't watched before, so I will reiterate. Project Hail Mary is actually not horror, it's science fiction. It's by Andy Weir, who's the same guy who wrote The Martian. And I don't really want to spoil too much for you because it's kind of one of those white room mysteries where a character wakes up, he's in outer space on a spaceship, he knows he's not an astronaut, but he has no idea why he is there, where is everybody else, what he's supposed to do. He has no idea. So if you go into the book, it's really easy to spoil too much for you. But I do want to entice you to read it. And if you watch the trailer for the movie, it does give you a little more information. And I think Ryan Gosling looks like he's going to do a fantastic job. But essentially, this man has information that can help us because there is a planet-ending disaster that is imminent. And he has information that can help, even though he's not an astronaut. So they want him to go up to space. Obviously, he goes up to space because that's where the book starts. And I don't know how the movie's going to do it. But one of the best things about it, and just a minor spoiler, just to tell you why you need to see it, is there's somebody else who's stuck up in space too, who has also been sent by their planet because what's happening to the sun, something's eating the sun. That affects a lot of other planets. And the character is an alien. His name is Rocky. He's an engineer, and he's just everything that's wonderful about the world. And their friendship, like this unlikely friendship and these 2 unlikely heroes, it's a great story about friendship and about finding out that you're able to do more than you thought possible. And it's just also really funny and sweet. So I love it. I cannot wait to see it. The trailer is out now, so you can check out the trailer for Project Hail Mary, and it is my favorite book of all time. Sean has seen The Lodgers. So what do you think about The Lodgers? Brewster's in the other room. You can tell me. It won't hurt his feelings. Brocky does not care. Brocky's in this room. Did you watch Vordala? Dalek? Like Dalek? Dalek? Like Doctor Who? A French movie from a couple of years ago. I know that it is on Shudder. I also that there are some movies in Shudder I need to see. I haven't seen Grafted yet either, but that is on my watch list on Shudder. I do want to see. I've heard it was good. Let me know what you thought of it. Bermsir. One Bermsir. Mummy loved Wish Upon. Horrorhead Heather says incidents around the house messed me up. That bathroom scene. I cannot go to the bathroom in the dark anymore. Like I think about it so much. And it's hard to scare me, but that is one of the books that it really has stuck with me. And again, like I read it a second time with the audiobook, and I think the audiobook just made it so much more real because it's like this little girl telling you this really scary story of something that happened to her because it's all in first person. It's so good. And you can't shout at this book saying, why don't you do this? Because they do everything you can think of. There are smart characters in this. Like the grandmother in this is so good. There's so many great characters, but it's just so scary and so just blows my mind. Blows my mind. Definitely check it out on the audiobook. You can get it on Audible. It's so good. You observe? Yes. Rocky, he's all like, I sleep, you observe. And I love the world building in Project Hail Mary is so good. Like, initially, the main character, Ryland, he thinks it's kind of weird that this alien's like, I sleep, you observe. He's like, why do I need to watch this guy sleep? But it's because they won't necessarily wake up if something happens. So they're very vulnerable while they sleep. So if you care about somebody on their planet, you watch them sleep. They also have higher density gravity, so they're like these like rock creatures. Their languages are kind of like musical notes. That's a really good one to listen to on audiobook too, because you can kind of hear how the language sounds. But just how well developed it is. You feel like Rocky is a real person from another planet, and it's just so immersive. Ryan Gosling is my Maybe Movie's favorite actor. I loved him as Ken in the Barbie movie, but he's been in so many things that he was just so good, and he's so good at playing different kinds of characters. I have not seen The Rule of Jenny Penn. It's on Shudder though, so I will add it to my list. Also, guys, guess what? So I think if you guys have watched the show at all, you know I'm a big Joe Bob Briggs fan. Just got his new book, Joe Bob Goes Back to the Drive-In. It's kind of a new book. It's kind of not. It was actually his first book published in the 80s, way back in the day. It's a collection of his columns that he did, but they had Dark Horse republish it with new art, and it's incredible. Went down to Oregon, got it signed. I've met Joe Bob many times. He's amazing. But Joe Bob Briggs, it's on Shudder. It's the first Friday of every month, and they did something different this week. Normally, they'll put out little hints, and you kind of have to guess what the movies are. But no, Joe Bob, he said this week on Friday, we're going to have Blood and Black Lace by Mario Bava, and we're going to have The Bird with the Crystal Plumage by Argento, and he's gonna try to finally determine once and for all what was the first Giallo movie and which Giallo director is better. So I'm excited for that. Sean says, well, I enjoyed it actually. Gotta support the Irish horror. Indeed, it's far from perfect, but kind of a nice haunted ghost story. I agree. I don't love it as much as my dog loves it. To him, there is only one movie, and it is The Lodgers. Mostly, I think it's really fun just for that. But I did think it was pretty spooky. Bermsir says, Incidents was really good. Do you like Grady Hendrix? Do I like Grady Hendrix? He's my current favorite author. I do, and I would love to meet Grady Hendrix. I do have a signed copy of his most recent book that I bought online, Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I have most of his books. I don't have Paperbacks from Hell. I don't have the martial arts one. There's a few I'm missing. But if you look up here, I mean, his first book I read was Horror Store back when that came out. And Horror Store is cool, because it's kind of like an IKEA catalog. So this girl, she works at essentially an IKEA. I don't remember what her store is called, but it's essentially IKEA. And it's haunted. She has to work there overnight and it gets progressively scarier and scarier. And it's revealed that it used to be like this really archaic prison. So then the IKEA catalog, it starts to get more like showing you torture elements and stuff instead of like coffee tables. But Horror Store was the first one I read. Then he did My Best Friend's Exorcism, and that one's also a really great one to have in hardback because it looks like a high school yearbook. That one's set in the 80s, and one girl, her friend has kind of pulled away from her, and after they went on this outing with some of their friends and went into this weird house, she believes that her friend is possessed, but everyone's like, you know, you guys are just growing apart. Great book about friendship, and it's spooky. It's great. And I also have We Sold Our Souls. I haven't read that one yet, but I have this cool edition where it looks like it's like a metal magazine cover. Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. We did a really in-depth review of that one for Strange and Unusual Book Club. Some of the Strange and Unusual Book Club stuff is on this channel, but we did end up making a separate channel for it, so I don't know which one it's on. But that one it gets dark, really dark. And I think that's when, for me, he started to get just really I feel like emotionally dark with his books. And it's incredible because I think all of his books have a little bit of levity, but they feel like life. Life is scary and funny and dramatic, and he has all of those things. And I like the way that he blends them so well. I loved Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. Also, I think my favorite one of his books is How to Sell a Haunted House. It is the one I have that's autographed. That one was really good just because it took so many unexpected twists and turns. This woman, her mother has passed away, and she was never really close to her mom. She's more, rigid and organized, and her mom she thought was just kind of flighty, and she played with puppets and stuff, and she just didn't really get her. And she's fighting over the house with her brother, and they're also having to deal with all the puppets, which I'm pretty sure I think that's the only thing her mom left her, which she hates the puppets. But then creepy things start happening in the house, and you really don't know where it's going from here. But it's really genuinely scary. It's heartwarming. It's just great. I loved it. And I also have the Final Girl support group. That one I thought I was gonna like more than I did. I've liked all of them. That one's probably my least favorite. Just because it just was more like a lot of other books I've read. But the premise is cool. It's like the final girls from all of our favorite horror movies, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Nightmare on Elm Street, and they're all in a support group. And then one of their own has been killed, and they think that whatever it is coming after them. So, it's good. All of his books are good. But How to Sell a Haunted House is my favorite. Sean says, I used to watch Monster Vision back in the day on TNT. I love Blood and Black Lace. I was such a Monster Vision fan. And I think I've told the story a lot here, but we have new people here. When I was a kid, I moved here from England. I was kind of a weird kid because I moved here from another country. I had just a lot of Britishisms and kind of an accent and stuff. So I got picked on a lot. Like my backpack, for example, it's a Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles on it because it's Hero Turtles in England. Just a lot of things like that. They just make you the weird kid who gets picked on, and it was fourth grade. But I also really loved horror movies because that's how my mom raised me. We watched a lot of horror movies together, and I read a lot of spooky stuff. But one thing my mom doesn't really care for is like slasher movies. Like my mom's never been into like the Jasons or anything like that. And I pretty much like all horror movies. And they don't get a lot of respect outside. And I didn't have this horror community at the time. So I felt like I was kind of a weirdo for liking these things. I mean, even Elvira, who I adored, she would. My dogs are going crazy. Guys! Are you okay? What's going on? Are we under attack? Hold on. Babe, can you hear the dogs? Okay. We are back. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Monster Vision. So I didn't really know a lot of other people who liked a lot of those movies, and people I know who did like them, would treat them as like a guilty pleasure, or a lot of kids I knew also weren't allowed to watch those kind of movies. Like I said, Elvira, I love her, but she would make fun of them. But Joe Bob Briggs, he was the first person where he would actually be like, no, these are good movies. He would do the whole Friday the 13th marathon. My brother and I would stay up all night and watch those. And he was just really like a combination of being kind of a movie nerd, but also being funny and introducing comedy to it with his Drive-In Totals. And what I loved about it is because I also watched Up All Night. I watched Dinner and a Movie. I watched a lot of other kind of movie hosted shows as well, Movie Macabre. But on Joe Bob's show, one of the things he did that was really different is he had his mail girl bring him mail, and like they were just letters from other horror fans talking about the show. Sometimes he used to have a segment where he would also do like a letter from somebody in prison. But it made me feel connected. It made me feel like I was part of a horror community, that there was other people in the country who were also watching Joe Bob, who also liked these movies. And so even though I couldn't talk to these people, I felt like I was part of a horror community. And it was really cool when eventually we got to the internet age and where we are now with like YouTube. Thankfully Danny, got me introduced to this through Horror Addicts, and having all of you amazing people to talk about horror with and not think I'm totally crazy. So I really like that. I used to be really, really shy and stuff. And I think just because I was always worried people would think I was super weird. But, I think a lot of that is just you need to find your people. And in the horror community, I have found my people. And it's another thing too, like I feel like at horror conventions and stuff, people are just so much nicer than even I've never met anyone who's mean at regular like Comic-Con, but I've made a lot more friends at horror conventions. And even when we were at Guar the other day, like Guar is kind of like horror metal. Like everyone there is super nice. People do mosh and stuff, and but whenever someone falls down, there's like 4 people going to pick that person up. So I don't know. It's just something about horror people I really like. In my experience, horror people are genuinely nice people. Sean says they say the girl who knew too much is the first Giallo. See, Giallo is kind of, I like Giallo. It's just an area where I'm not much of an expert. I have a friend, Tony K. I need to get him on the show. He is a massive expert. He probably would have a lot of thoughts on this. But I haven't seen that much. I've seen like Suspiria. I've seen a lot of the big ones. Curious to see what Joe Bob says this weekend. But definitely you should watch Joe Bob. And the fun thing about Joe Bob is during the show, a lot of people will live tweet on Twitter. I'm not calling it X. But on social media, people will live tweet. And Joe Bob and Darcy, his mail girl, actually interact with fans. They will retweet you. They will respond to your messages. They really do try to get to know the horror community, which is pretty impressive considering that Joe Bob is 72 years old. And I mean, not just with us, like he wished Danny a happy birthday the other day, but he does that for a lot of his fans. So he really cares about the people in his community, in the mutant family, which I think is really special. Bermser says, totally agree. Hendrix is awesome. My favorite is the short story called Bad Astronauts. Yes, I read that one. So I read to my husband every night before we go to bed. It's just, he prefers like audiobooks and being read to, and he likes me reading to him, and it's just a nice way to spend time together. But I read that to him, and I thought Bad Astronauts was so cool and so unique. I think what I like about Grady Hendrix, because I'm only really familiar with the Pacific Northwest of the United States, and he's from the South, and I find that whole area to be fascinating and beautiful, at least the way it's described in books and that way I've seen it in movies. And just, he uses so much from where he grew up in the South, and I think it's really cool. And in Bad Astronauts, you have this guy who's like that cantankerous Southern guy, and they have a small town hero who's an astronaut, and I can't remember all the details. Correct me if I'm wrong here. But he's basically stuck in orbit. And I think they say that it would cost too much and be too difficult to get him. So what this guy does, this cantankerous old man, he decides he's going to build his own rocket ship, and they don't even have to go all the way into space. They just need to get into the atmosphere and figure out a way to pick up this guy and bring him back. and they get everybody in their small town community, and then it expands beyond that to build this spaceship. And I mean, honestly, I think there are people who are rocket scientists who are smart like that, and they don't all work at NASA. So it seemed pretty plausible the way he wrote it, but it was really neat. So it was a really good book. Super Weird is awesome. What is Super Weird, Mummy? I don't know what Super Weird is. And I'm glad Mummy B Movie is joining us today. I need to go visit Mummy B Movie. Mummy, what have you been reading and watching? 6:50. So I think because normally I have a guest here, so I don't do as much of the talking. But yeah, I'm probably gonna wrap this up here in a little bit. If you guys have any questions or comments that you want to share with me in the chat, Wolf Game Video is here from Salem, Oregon. I really like Oregon. I was just in Oregon a couple weeks ago. I went. Are you familiar with Movie Madness? It's in Portland. It's a retro video store, and they also have like DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff. But they also have tons of memorabilia from movies, like costumes and props. Oh, yes, that place is really cool in Portland, Oregon. They also have the last Blockbuster video store somewhere in Oregon too. Oh yeah, I said I was super weird. Well, thank you, Mummy. You raised me to be super weird, and I do think it's pretty awesome. I prefer weird people. Movie Madness is amazing. Sweet. Yeah, I love that store. I didn't know this place existed before. I was so stoked. We also got like some stickers there. I got my book signed, and we got some beers there. Like they had special like craft beers I've never seen anywhere else. I got like a Crow one, and we got something else. But gosh, you're so lucky if you live close enough to visit, because they do movie screenings and such. Like that place is rad. I really like that place. I also need to go to Oregon, and I can't remember what the city is. But if you were watching earlier, my son, who's 21, lols, he is a massive Scooby Doo fan, and there's a town in Oregon that has a Scooby Doo escape room. I used to think I'd be really too afraid to do an escape room because I am very claustrophobic, but I did one. I did one in Seattle. I live in Washington State. I did one in Seattle. It was an Evil Dead 2 one. Guys, it was so fun. So fun. And if you're claustrophobic, please don't let that stop you from doing escape rooms. I'm sure there's like a lot of different ones, but the one I went to was really nice. The door didn't even close all the way, so I didn't feel like I was shut in. And at this one in particular, the above it was all open, so it didn't feel like you were locked in. But it was so fun, like solving the puzzles. And the room you're in looks just like the cabin from Evil Dead 2. Like it had the deer, it had the clock, it had the everything. It was so cool. It had the hand. And then when you solved that part of it, you go into the kitchen, and it looks just like the kitchen. You were Ashes, like breaking all the plates and everything. And then the final part was in this shed with the chainsaw. And it was just so, so fun. So I really want to do another one. We all had fun. It was me, my brother Dusty, Zigma. You guys have seen him in the chat here. Danny, we took him for his birthday, and our son. But I really want to go to the Scooby Doo one in Oregon. If you're familiar with it and you've done it and have any thoughts on that, I'd love to hear it. The second Ouija film is peak horror. You know, that's all Mike Flanagan. Mike Flanagan, if you saw the first Ouija film, it's fine. It's a slumber party movie. I could see it being fun, like, you know, if you have a bunch of friends over or whatever. But the second one it's a quality freaking film. And I said frickin' Danny. I have not sworn on this episode, this tonight, the stream tonight. So yay. I can do better, guys. I can. But yes, the second Ouija film is really, really good. And Mike Flanagan, he's currently working on the Carrie TV series. And I love like Haunting on Hill House and the Bly Manor one. So I'm really excited. I know a lot of people are like, hey, Carrie's been done to death because we had the TV movie and we had the remake with Chloe Grace. But honestly, as someone who's a big fan of the book and has read it more than once, I don't think we've really had an adaptation that it has everything from the book. I mean, the best one is obviously the Brian De Palma one, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I love it. But as somebody who's a massive fan of that book, you are missing out on so many incredible scenes. And the TV movie got like the one with the rocks and stuff, but I would really like to see it done well. It's also done it's a combination of like there's a word for it. I don't want to say expository, but I don't remember what the word for it is. But like how Dracula's done, it's a combination of journal entries and newspaper clippings, and there's a court case. And the movies haven't really incorporated that much. It's a big part of the book. So I'm really excited to see what he does with it. I mean, I don't think he can do any wrong. There was also, if you're a big Carrie fan, I'm going off on a tangent now. If you're a big Carrie fan, I read this recently. We read it for my book club, Strange and Unusual Book Club. It's another channel I have. If you like to read, please check it out. But it's called The Weight of Blood. And I believe the author was Tiffany D. Jackson. And it's a complete retelling of Carrie from the point of view of a Black teenager in the South, which I didn't know that they still segregate proms there. There are certain Southern high schools where they will have a Black prom and a white prom. I didn't even know that kind of stuff still happened, but that's what happens to the Carrie in this one. So, yeah, I thought that was really good too, and definitely something to check out if you're a big fan of Carrie. Okay, Wolf Game Video. I haven't met you before. It looks like you probably have a channel, so I'm gonna have to check that out. Let us know what you do over on your channel. They say Humane Society Thrift Store in Salem used to be a great place to score valuable VHS tapes for only 50 cents, but they sadly shut down last December. So I live in a town called Wenatchee in Washington State. We're in like the direct middle of the state. So if you ever happen up into our neck of the woods, my husband works at a place called the Time Capsule, and it's super rad because they got VHS tapes, they got records, they got video games for every system that's ever existed. They have a small arcade. They have like a sitting area where you can watch movies, and it also is kind of decorated like Stranger Things with the alphabets on the wall. Tons of retro toys, like they've had Popples and all kinds of dolls and Star Wars, and it's super rad. So if you guys are in Wenatchee, Washington, do check out the Time Capsule. Plus, our very own Danny Nightmare works there, and he's amazing. Yeah, Danny and I both really like Movie Madness. I'm gonna post some pictures from that soon. I got kind of behind, because I broke my phone on posting pictures on social media, but I think they're in the cloud now. So if I go onto Google Photos, I can probably find them. I do want to visit the last Blockbuster. We need to just make like an Oregon trip here soon and maybe check out some other cool things in Oregon. Am I excited for the upcoming holiday season? What are some of your favorite Christmas movies? Well, Gremlins is probably my favorite. I watch that one every year. I am excited for the holidays. I think it's important to take time out to connect with family and stuff. I think with work and hobbies and just everything, people kind of it's good to have a reminder to spend time with the people that you care about the most. So I love that. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of my family. And I like a lot of Christmas movies. I remember Danny introduced me to The Hogfather. It's not horror, but it's spooky. I really liked that. But I guess favorite Christmas movies, let's see. I'm gonna see if I can come up with the top 5. I love Gremlins. I love Black Christmas. That might be one of my favorites. It's so spooky. I love Black Christmas. Those are the two that come to mind. Let me look up Christmas horror movies. Let's look up, see what comes up. Christmas horror movies. I can think of a lot. I'm just trying to determine which ones are my top 5. I love Krampus. That would definitely be up there. And that's incredible because I don't like Adam Scott. Again, nothing against the man. He seems like a perfectly nice person. I just think he has a punchable face. But I still love that movie. And no, I would never punch Adam Scott in the face. Just because I recognize that his face is punchable doesn't mean I mean any violence toward the man. I don't know. Just have you guys ever met somebody where they just annoy you for no reason and no fault of their own. For me, that is Adam Scott. I like most people. Just Adam Scott, dude. Something about the guy. Looking at all these Christmas movies. I do like Silent Night, Deadly Night. I do like Christmas Evil. I like A Christmas Horror Story. I like Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 with Garbage Day. That's great. That's a good time. I like Rare Exports. Have you guys seen the movie Tree Venge? You can watch it on YouTube. It's a short film, but all the trees get fed up with being cut down. So they go on a rampage and kill a bunch of people. It's pretty cool. I like that a lot. There was a whole, all through the house, cut off a lot of dongs. That was entertaining. I like The Children. That's a good one. Not the trauma one, the other one. Yeah, there's a sampling of some of the ones I like. And a Clayface movie. We're closing up. Swear away, Corey. Swear away. No, I want to do better. I want to. I don't want people to not watch because I have a potty mouth, but I think I'm doing pretty well. I would like to see Flanagan do a version of Silver Bullet. That would be interesting. I really like the Silver Bullet we have. I think it's my favorite Gary Busey role. I also love the gal. I can't remember her name, but she was in Anne of Green Gables. I think it's really good, but it's definitely one that I would be open to seeing a remake of. I think there's room to tell it differently because the source material, it's almost kind of like a calendar. It's got art for each month, but I think you could do something different with it. The time capsule is amazing, so definitely come check it out. They also have a YouTube channel. If you look at my featured channels down below, you'll find it. And so the owner's always posting like just unboxings and stuff from the store. So you can probably see the time capsule there. Plus, Danny over on Horror Addicts films a lot of his videos there just because it's a really rad place. Killer Kayla and Dougie Fresh on it. Yeah, Killer Kayla is my co-host on Strange and Unusual Book Club. You have a spare phone I can have? It's a Pixel 5? Well, thank you, Mommy. I just went ahead and ordered one, but it'll be here next week. I just replaced the cheap phone I already had, so I don't have a super fancy phone. But I just got a new case for it, so I was kind of bummed. Christmas, Bloody Christmas. I feel like I've seen that one. Let me look it up. Christmas. Yeah, Christmas, Bloody Christmas. It's the one that has like the Robo Santa. That was a good one. That's a little hidden gem. Definitely check that one out. Adam Scott is really good in a Thanksgiving movie called The Vicious Kind. It's mostly a joke, guys. I don't really hate the man. I do find him really annoying though. Maybe it's because of Parks and Rec. I just find him mildly annoying. I'm sure he's lovely. But he pops up in things all the time. And it's just like a thing with Danny and I are like, Adam Scott. I think he was in like Puppet Master 3. I don't know. I don't really hate him. I find him annoying. I've heard Severance is really good though, so I'll have to check that out. Mr. Flixer says, since I'm so close to Oregon, I must know the trail. I mean, have I gotten dysentery? I'm not going to admit it on here, but yeah, the answer is yes. Hi, Gory. Hey, the horror show. What's up, guys? Good to see ya. It has been a while. I'm back. I'm streaming every Wednesday and Sunday. So this is kind of fun. Usually I have a guest, but it's kind of fun to just hang out with you guys and catch up with the chat and hear your guys' stories. It's been really fun. I kind of feel like we've all been sitting in a living room together and just hanging out. So this has been really fun. My dog is whining. He wants his mama. And I probably should go make dinner. So I'm going to wrap this up. But hi, baby. Thank you, my angel. That was lols. Wolfgang Video says, I find Ryan Reynolds annoying. He seems nice, but he's an overrated bad act. You know what? I see that. I've actually talked to a lot of people where they have somebody they find annoying. So I think Danny's used to be Kirsten Dunst. It's like, you don't know them personally. It's nothing personal. But for me, it's Adam Scott. Hi, baby. Are you going to come say goodbye to everybody with me? So I was going to go make us dinner. I was going to make you shepherd's pie made out of real shepherds. Yeah? Should we see if Peaches wants to come out before we go? We'll see. All right, let's see if we can get a spider out before we head out. Peaches, what do you think, babe? Maybe? Okay, here we go. Okay, there is Peaches. She's probably gonna end up jumping on the camera. There's Peaches, guys. And there goes Peaches. So Peaches is a jumping spider. She's very friendly. She's not in focus. Say hi, Peaches. You want to go on the microphone? Maybe? So everyone say hi to Peaches, the jumping spider. She's 2. She's a little old lady. Balls, would you take this enclosure for me? Actually, I'll just leave it here. Anyway, I'm glad we got to see her. I don't know how in focus she is, but she is waving at you guys. Jumping spiders do that. She's really sweet. If you guys are afraid of jumping spiders, honestly, I hold mine a lot. I've never known one to bite or anything. They don't really have any reason to because they can't eat us. And they eat the things that are a threat to us, like mosquitoes. But I'm proud that I can do this. 3 years ago, a jumping spider in my living room, I wouldn't go back into that room for like forever until I had to. And I adopted a little jumping spider. I named her Ichabod. And just observing them and how cautious they are around us, how much more afraid of us they are than we are of them. I mean, we pose such a big threat to them. And yet, a lot of us are so afraid of them. And they don't mean us any harm. So, yeah. Wolfgang Video says, oh gosh, I love Kirsten Dunst. She's my future ex-wife. Hi, Peaches. Where you going, baby? Your room looks like great. It's been fun. Thank you. So, guys, I will be live again on Sunday. I will hope to see you guys there. I'll be live Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, join me, and we're going to talk about more spooky stuff and hang out with my spiders and my dogs. And until we meet again, blessed be.